Hey there, it's Steve from Serious Keto, and in this video, we're going to make a recipe that is cheap, easy, and will leave your friends and family thinking you're a gourmet chef. Poulet au vinaigre, or chicken in vinegar, is a popular bistro dish in Lyon, France. And this recipe is one that I've seen from a number of different sources, including Julia Child, Jacques Pepin, the French Cooking Academy, Food and Wine Magazine, and America's Test Kitchen. And all of them share some similarities, but all also have some subtle differences. I've taken kind of what I feel are the best of each of these recipes and kind of tweaked it to make my own. And one of the things that makes this recipe great is the protein that we're going to use. Bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs. This is pretty much the least expensive protein that you can find, and it's delicious. It's juicy, it's wonderful. I mean, chicken thighs in general are pretty good, but if you get boneless, skinless, you're looking at over $3 a pound, at least at Costco by me. Bone-in, skin-on, $1.29 a pound. And if you're making a recipe where you don't want the skin, throw it in the air fryer, make some chips. Making a recipe that doesn't need the bones, debone it, use that for stock or broth. We'll start with 4 bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs. However, we're going to remove some excess skin because we do not want the skin on the bottom, just on the top. So I'll slice off the extra skin on all 4 of these, setting it to the side, and then pat them dry, tops and bottoms. Then I'm going to apply a little bit of fresh ground pepper and a sprinkle of salt to the top side. And then I will preheat my oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit or 165 Celsius. As I mentioned in the intro, you can take that chicken fat, throw it into the air fryer, and make some chips. And we're going to do that so we've got something to munch on while we make the rest of this dish. I'm going to set my air fryer to air crisp 390 degrees Fahrenheit, which is right around 200 Celsius. And then I'm going to lay down my chicken skins in after it's preheated and let it cook for about 7 minutes or until my chicken skins are golden brown and crispy. Then I'll remove them to a plate lined with a paper towel and let them cool for a minute before we have our little snack.
Just like deep fried pork, like they taste like pork rind, chicken rinds. Yeah.
I just love that. It's like bacon and chicken had a baby.
So let's start up the chicken thighs. I'll turn up the heat on a large burner to medium. I've got some avocado oil and a 12-inch stainless steel saute pan. This one is from Allclad, in case Allclad is watching and would like to sponsor the show. I'm going to pour about a tablespoon of avocado oil into this, and then tilt the pan around a bit to get it fully covered. Once it is hot and shimmering, I'm going to add my chicken thighs, skin side down. That sizzle sound is just music. Then I'm going to let these cook undisturbed for 8 minutes to get a nice crispy skin on them. While the chicken thighs are pan frying, we'll prep all of our other ingredients so that we have our mise en place, or everything in place. First off, we have a shallot. This is actually half a shallot. And I'm going to put some vertical cuts across it, and then one horizontal cut, so that I can get a nice fine chop. I'm going to transfer this to a bowl. If you're doing metric and weighing, it is 35 grams of shallot. I then have a baby portobello mushroom that I'm going to cut in half and then also thinly slice. This will add some umami flavor. Again, interestingly, 35 grams. Then I have 2 cloves of garlic, which I'm going to, again, very finely slice. I did not weigh this. 2 cloves of garlic is close enough. For the liquid in our sauce, we've got some dry white wine. I'm using a bottle of Pinot Grigio here from Costco, $4.99 a bottle. You do not have to break the bank on this. Just make sure you buy drinking wine, not cooking wine. We'll do 3/4 of a cup or 175 ml. Next, we have some chicken stock or chicken broth. Again, 3/4 of a cup or 175 ml. And lastly, we have the co-star of the show, the red wine vinegar. 1/4 cup or 60 ml. Now don't put this back in the cupboard because we are going to use it at the end of the recipe, so keep that handy. Now be aware that as these chicken thighs are frying, they produce a lot of fat, a lot of spattering, so you may want to lay down a couple extra kitchen towels just to aid in cleanup. Also, generally good not to stand too close to the saute pan unless you want to get some oil burns on your forearms. After 8 minutes, we're ready to flip our thighs over onto the other side. We'll let these cook for about 3 minutes on the bottom side. Then I'll remove all 4 thighs to a plate so that I can make the sauce. Look at the skin on that. Tell me your stomach's not growling. So for the sauce, I'll start with the shallots, the mushrooms, and the garlic, which I will saute for about 2 minutes. It'll absorb the fat and turn a nice golden brown. Then I'll add the liquid, the wine, and the chicken broth, as well as the red wine vinegar. Then using a wooden spoon, ideally with a flat edge, I'm going to scrape at the little crusty bits, the brown crusty bits called fond. This stuff is an absolute flavor bomb, and we want to make sure that we're incorporating it into our sauce. Once the bottom of the pan is nice and smooth, we'll put our chicken thighs back in. And put this into our preheated oven for 35 to 40 minutes. Now it should go without saying that you're going to want to have a towel or oven mitt to remove the pan from the oven. I prefer a towel because I can leave it draped over the handle as a reminder not to touch that handle. I'm going to remove the chicken thighs back to the plate again, and I'm going to tent it with a piece of aluminum foil to keep it warm while I finish the sauce. And I'm going to do that by taking the heat up to high and then whisking in 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. We're going to whisk this in and continue to cook this sauce as it reduces down and gets thick. That'll take about 5 to 7 minutes. Make sure to scrape any other crusty bits off the side again. Flavor bonus. Then we're going to take this off the heat and do what's called mounting some butter. Let's stir this. You can see how this is really thickened up and reduced. But we have our 2 tablespoons of butter, which I will whisk in, and then a little splash, about a teaspoon of red wine vinegar. That'll add a little extra bite to this. And finally, 1 tablespoon of flat leaf parsley, finely chopped. Now it's time to plate this up. Do not pour the sauce on top of the chicken thighs. That'll make the skin soggy, and we want to keep that skin nice and crisp. I am salivating so hard right now. Oh, cannot wait.
I'm excited, dear, to have this.
Hopefully the skin is crispy
Oh,
and
yeah.
the meat is tender.
Look at how crispy this is. You can hear the crunch. Thumper's like wanting some. He's like, it smells. Juicy, crispy sauce is delicious. You can taste the vinegar and all the flavors. Delicious. Thanks for making this, dear.
I am salivating so hard right now. The payoff on this is extraordinary. It's an inexpensive cut of meat. It is not an expensive meal to pull together. It is not difficult to do, and it is so, so good.
So there you have it, poulet au vinaigre. It's more than just a recipe in my opinion, it's also a technique, because you can really make this your own. You could substitute in a different wine, perhaps a white Burgundy, for example. Instead of parsley, you could use tarragon. In fact, when Terry and I made the Egyptian rice, well, she mostly made it, I mostly worked the camera, we did this dish, and instead of using the shallots and mushrooms, I used dukkha, about a tablespoon of dukkha. It's an Egyptian spice that really lent a Middle Eastern flavor to this dish. So play around, make it your own, have some fun with it. If you come up with any wonderful variations, let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please click that like button. If you're not a subscriber already, tap that subscribe button, then hit the bell to turn on all notifications. And if I really helped you become a gourmet, click that thanks button. Buy me, I don't know, another bottle of wine for cooking. And thanks for watching.